Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fast Farm or Best Farm. This is episode 5 we are now on to, and we are getting through these at a good pace now. So we are looking at the next character on the journey tier in tier 2, which will be BB-8. So we obviously have quite a few characters here to choose from, so we're going to look at the fastest team and the best team to set you guys up for future success in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. So make sure that you are paying attention to the things you're getting yourself involved in, such as guilds and stuff. It helps being in a good guild, but it is not crucial, and this is obviously the quickest way to get your characters to 7 stars, but you will need to level them up, add gear to them, along with other things as well. So, you know, that the timescales are based on no free freshers, no bonus shards, nothing like that. It is, you know, there are things that happen in the game that can speed these things up, but we just have to take a baseline and go, right, this is the baseline. So I hope this is informative for you and helps you make some decisions on where you should farm your account for future things. So on to the little ball of joy himself, BB-8. As you can see here, we have a Captain Phasma team first. Now, along with being the fastest team to farm, this is also not a terrible team for territory wars for your guild and for Grand Arena, because as it may take a little bit of time to get there, but we do have 2 Omicrons on this team. My main guild has been using the Phasma Omicron teams a fair bit on defense, and the TIE pilot has a Grand Arena Omicron. So it you know, it's not bad. It's nothing to be sniffed at, considering it's the fastest team. You know, your time is getting the Omicrons. So let's have a look at I hate the press and hold there. Come on. There we go. Okay, so what do we have here with Phasma? Phasma is a pilot on Kylo Ren's shuttle, which will be pretty good later because we're going to have a look at the pilots. And let's just, you know, the only thing you don't get is the First Order Stormtrooper, but you do get Kylo Ren in this farm. So if you did want to go for this, you'd have to just make the Stormtrooper something that you would need to farm. But we're not looking at that. We're not looking at pilots, not looking at getting ships. We're looking at how we're going to get BB-8 as fast as possible. So here we are, Galactic War Store yet again for these things. So nice quick farm again. Galactic War is 1200 currency a day, so that is 30 shards a day. Going to take you 11 days to get to 7 stars for Captain Phasma. And then on to our next one. We're going to look at the First Order TIE pilot. Get a pilot for one of a ship you can farm. So this one, TIE fighter pilot, appears in the Fleet Arena store and on Dark Side 6B here. I can't remember if this is because the Fleet Arena store does change around. I can't remember if this one is one that's permanently in there or not. But if it is, it's going to take you just over 16 days. If it's not in there permanently, it will take you a little bit longer. So, you know, it's hard to gauge without checking every single thing. The Fleet Arena store only refreshes a couple of times a day as well. So yeah, but make sure you're grabbing this if you're doing it every time you see it for this particular farm. And I would probably, seeing as you're not going to be using your energy for any of the other characters in this farm, I would go ahead and use your energy here on Dark Side 6B to farm the TIE pilot here. First Order Officer. Now this one is in here. It's a quick farm, reasonably, and also it is a pilot for one of the crucial ships to Finalizer, which is the TIE Echelon. You need this in your starting lineup when you have Finalizer. And if you know it changed the Finalizer fleet significantly when it came out. Obviously Finalizer isn't great, but it does work, and this is the ship that makes it actually really work well. So Cantina battles here, so you're looking at 47 days unfortunately to do this. So yeah, it's not the fastest, but it is still reasonably fast because of the the income you're going to get, and obviously with refreshes and stuff that is going to help you. So this farm is not the quickest, to put it lightly. So there we go. Next up on the list is the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter pilot, and this one is definitely a quick one. 8 and a bit days with your raid currency, 4 shipments a day gets you there in just over 4 days. Nice and quick there. And a similar thing for Kylo Ren here. You may want to, while you're doing your Special Forces TIE pilot, be using Cantina currency here, because if you're spending on Cantina currency here, that will feed your currency to get your First Order officer. So that's what I would probably suggest doing to start with, and then you can top up with Guild Store, but you're still going to obviously need a fair amount of these. If you did just do Guild Store, the fastest way is do Guild Store, and it's done in 8 and a bit days, just like the previous one. But I would probably recommend doing it that way. But we're talking about the quickest way to get things. So yes, First Order Officer does bring it down a little bit, but it's still one of the quicker ones out of all of them. So yes, on to probably the best team. Now the thing is with the best team is a little bit interchangeable depending on what you want. First Order Officer does help with, you know, spreading turn meter around. You can throw the First Order Stormtrooper in here as well. But these are probably the 5. You definitely want Hux and the Sith Trooper with Kylo Ren on Master. Hux can also lead, but this is the one that I think is probably the best. We've got a Cantina node here, which I would be farming all the time for this, because then you get your TIE Silencer shards and your currency for the First Order Officer farm. So I would be doing that, and I would be saving this because General Hux is only available in this dark side node, so you're going to want to use your energy here for this one, and as well Sith Trooper is also on the same node. There's First Order Stormtrooper. So yes, so it might be better to just go for these two. You could get Hux out of there, for example. You could, let's say, where's the First Order stuff? You could do something like this if you didn't want to bother with Hux. Hux is just really good though in the First Order team, but you could do that because then you've got Sith Trooper and First Order Stormtrooper on the same node and you're farming them at the same time, so it probably is a little bit quicker to do it that way, but this is about it being potentially the best options for you to get these characters up and running. So yeah, so that's how I would probably, this is the team I would use, but if you wanted to make it a little bit more efficient, I'd go for that. At the end of the day, all of these characters do have to go towards the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren farm, so it doesn't really matter which ones you put in here because you're going to need all of these anyway. This is just to unlock BB-8, and BB-8 goes into Jedi Training Rey, which obviously goes into Rey, but you do need Rey Jedi Training for the Rey fully Galactic Legend, whatever you want to call it. Just Rey, just make it, you know, difficult for a CG. Rey Scavenger, Rey Jedi Training, and Rey. Dear. Anyway, so there we go. That is really the only couple of ways to do this, I think. So it's not you're starting to get into farms that take a little bit longer, you know, as you go up the tiers, obviously. The BB-8 now being one of the longest ones to take of these, due to the characters that you need to farm for it. So there we go. So I hope you found this informative and interesting. Really, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you give a like and subscribe and a notification bell if you want to keep informed of when videos go live on the channel. And I really hope to see you all in the next episode and more. Bye bye.